Matador. Where? Down here?
After this performance.
Oh.
They're friends.
How was that performance?
Oh, it was excellent.
Yeah?
She's great. Really terrific. When did the jazz scene just...
Huh?
When did the jazz scene just die in New York?
I guess when the Beatles came. The Rolling Stones died about, as soon as Bird died, that's when it started. Then by 60s, the only person less, there was some, but the major person that was Coltrane.
Uh-huh.
And then he went, and then that was it. Now we have a president, what's his name? Wynton Marsalis.
Yeah.
He rules the whole jazz scene in New York, it seems like.
Yeah.
And he plays like a master of his horn, but he doesn't say anything. Not much, I mean, maybe someday he'll be good. I mean, he'll say something, but right now it's just, I mean,
Just technique now?
Oh, he's got tremendous technique. But it's like he's never had any difficult times in his life. He always, you know what, he never had a dope habit, I'm sure. Maybe he has, maybe he never had a scuffle or you know, he had protection. He was like an immediate success. And he's still that way. His brother too what's his name, Branford.
When was the last time that you played professionally? When did you stop playing?
The actual last time was a fluke. Was in when was it? Oh, was in the 70s with I met him. How did I meet this guy? Oh, it's through Eddie Lang. Not the original Eddie Lang. This guy was a very good guitar player, and then he took the name Eddie Lang from his mentor, and he kept it. And he eventually moved to the Philippines. He sent for a wife, and she eventually took him back to the Philippines. That's the last I heard. But through him, I met the original guitar player with the ink spots, and he was a very good guitar player. And I worked with him in the Soho. That was the last time. There was just no singing at all.
How many did you play regularly for several nights, or was it just a one-night deal?
One night deal. So.
Yeah.
It was good. It was mostly Japanese audience.
Uh-huh.
They liked it.
Huh.
They were into jazz on it, you know.
Yeah. And what about when you had that rest with that gig where you played every Saturday night or Sunday night, you know? You know the house band.
Oh, the house band. That was like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Or sometimes it was Friday, Saturday, and Monday, or sometimes it was just Saturday and Sunday. That was that ended when Bird died, pretty much. Not for a little while longer, but then the clubs closed up.
Yeah.
They all closed. It became strip joints, or coffee houses, whatever, or bars. Like there's a bar that they call it the Minetta Tavern on 4th Street. That was the Montmartre. And the Minetta Tavern was over on McDougal Street. And it's now just a gay bar, right?
Where is it now?
Huh?
The Minetta Tavern?
Minetta Tavern.
Yeah.
Or the Kettle of Fish. You know,
yeah, Kettle of Fish. Yeah, Kettle of Fish. Around the corner.
And there's no jazz anywhere except you have to pay a lot. There's a lot of it in Midtown, right? And then Village Vanguard, they've been there for a long
The
time.
Vanguard and Sweet Basil's.
That's the only one, and Arthur's, except I don't think Arthur's has the same program.
Well, the place that you played at when you were a house band, was it like, it wasn't like Sweet Basil's, or
It was like what?
It was not like Sweet Basil or Vanguard, because you were there every day for weeks and weeks and weeks, right?
Oh yeah, 6 months or something. Just on a house band, they would have that time it was cheaper to have a house band and then bring in a soloist, rather than him traveling with his own band. This started to happen in the late 50s, in the 60s. It was cheaper. So, but what happened? We were eventually replaced with a what do you call it? More well-known musicians. The place got popular, and we got That's why if you're young and not as experienced or as well known, you were aced out, as they say. But that's all right, because the people that replaced us were the people I wanted to listen to. There was money wasn't the big thing. It was just a place to hang out, mainly. Great.
And what year did Charlie Parker die?
55.
55.
March of 55. And then Coltrane lived out into the into the late 60s or early 70s. I don't know when he died. I know he was a drug addict for years. But, there was a lot of drug addicts who kept it, somehow was able to keep it quiet. Like if you read about Coltrane, you'll rarely read in any biography, they don't talk about his drugs at all. Same way with almost anybody, they don't want to talk about their drugs much. Gives them a bad. And now they don't want to talk about if they smoke, it's not good. Now they're yelling because they're smoking cigars. Remember?
Yeah.
What a voice did that.
Who was yelling?
Oh, yeah. Some doctor. It's always a doctor, right?
Yeah.
Come to me and I'll cure you of your cigar habit. I'll give you cancer and you'll never have it again. They curse you. They put a curse on you. You're on a radio program and they're talking about cancer, and pretty soon you're saying, oh my God, I better stop doing this or that, or I'll get cancer.
Yeah.
Cancer is like anything you get. If it isn't tuberculosis or bubonic plague, it's cancer. Or asthma. It's not as bad. It'll even kill you too.
Unforeseen.
The doctors are making money, and the lawyers are making a fortune. That's why, like, another reason they like it, because the lawyer, you can go and say, well, this doctor gave me this, and I don't feel good. No, I'll take you to court. And they raise the insurance, goes up and up.
Yeah, the health
It's
insurance.
extortion. Same with the car. I paid thousands of dollars for car insurance. For what? Will they ever give it back to me? Never?
Guaranteed.
Don't even get a little bit of the interest? Never get it back. I don't know how.
I've gotten it back a couple times.
Oh, what?
I've gotten it back a couple times.
You did? How?
Car accidents.
You did?
My car accidents, yeah.
It wasn't your fault.
Right.
Did it hurt the
But
car?
I have,
Did it hurt the car?
yeah, that's what I got it fixed for. You know, I've had,
Did it hurt you?
no. I've had 2 accidents. And they
In
both,
New York City?
one in New York City and one on the way back from Arizona where I hit a deer.
Oh man, that's almost impossible to avoid. It can happen. You never know. Where did that happen to us? The deer, luckily, the first 2 deer jumped over the hood. They cleared the car, and the 3rd deer almost cleared the car, but his hoof hit my rear view mirror, my side mirror, and destroyed that completely. He fell and then scrambled up and ran off, luckily. And then we didn't have a mirror for a long time. That's the only time. And it's very dangerous. You got to be really careful.
Really go slow.
If you're driving at night, especially on a country road, you should do 35. I don't care who's behind me.
Yeah.
I just go like that.
Yeah, well,
Especially this time of year.
This time
Yeah.
of year is rough.
it cost me $2,000 each time I've had
You
an
killed a
accident.
deer?
Yeah, I killed the
Oh
deer.
yeah, right. You must have hit what, doing about 60 or 50?
Yeah.
30s fast.
Yeah, I was going 70 or 60 or
Oh
something.
my
like
God.
that. Going fast. But
You're lucky.
in any case, each time it's cost about $2,000 to get fixed. The car. My insurance is $2,000.
What? A year?
Here,
Why?
that's high. Is it high?
New York City.
New York City is higher, that's true.
Jesus God. Ours is what? almost 1,000.
Well, yeah.
And my high risk period is almost over, and I'll go back to the old, which is about $90 a quarter, right, or $100 a quarter,
Yeah.
$400. But I only drive on Sundays.
Yeah.
They never check me out on it.
Yeah.
Just
It's
drive on
just,
Sundays,
what
and I
is
don't
it,
use the car for any business. Don't ever.
Yeah.
I made that mistake
Yeah,
once.
she was
Yeah.
I figured I'd pay less if I told them I used it for my work.
Wouldn't you think so? Yeah.
You'd think so.
Well, try to find a cheap one now. A cheaper one.
And then my father drove until he was his late 80s. That was pretty good. He used to get so furious at the people cutting in on him and stuff like that. And a guy cut him off and went to the toll booth. And he was coming into the toll booth, and the guy went right in front of him, went to the toll. So he went and nudged him in the rear bumper, and it was a car full of detectives. They actually arrested him.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let him go finally. He had to spend. He refused to
Yeah, he
pay
stayed-
bail, or he
he
didn't want to
stayed
give him a
overnight, I
fucking
think.
dime.
Really?
Yeah.
He stayed in jail for 3 days.
Oh, 3 days?
Really?
Wow.
They finally let him go?
Just on GP. Yeah.
What's
Then he
the
gave
GP?
up driving.
Yeah.
What's the GP?
The general principle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He wouldn't give them the satisfaction.
So he wouldn't pay bail.
Huh?
He wouldn't pay bail.
No.
Oh.
I didn't want to give him a cent.
I wish you could meet his dad.
You got to hear these tapes of my father.
Yeah.
You'll love them.
Yeah, he will.
Where does he live?
Kansas City.
Well, next time I'm in Kansas City, I'll look him up.
Yeah.
I was there last summer. I was talking to Hunky's cousin.
He says it's it's such a terrible place that even the Indians wouldn't live there. They figured that to be sent to live there was like being sent to hell, because it's extremely humid,
Yeah.
very hot, and down in the old days it was full of mosquitoes and God knows what else. Terrible place, still like that. Winter, terrible
Winter's
winters,
pretty
terrible
cold,
summer.
yeah.
That part of Kansas City, Oklahoma is terrible. That's why they sent. They had to find a place to send all the Indians. Let's find the worst place that nobody wants, and that's where they sent them. Oklahoma. It's good for oil.
Your father seems to like.
Huh?
Your father seems to like KC though.
Well, he can't get out of it.
Is
He
that
wanted
what
to.
it
He
is?
wanted to move east. But,
Oh, he did.
Yes, he wanted to move east, but he said, "Oh, his kids are there.
His
And his
yeah.
Best friends are there."
Friends,
So.
he has a lot of friends.
Sister wanted to.
Yeah, no.
Oh, who is the? I wanted to ask you. This is the. Who is the tall girl that lives across the street that works for a magazine?
Wiley Nash.
She's nice.
Yeah, she's very nice. Very nice. I like her.
Wiley, that's nice.
Yeah.
She works what magazine does she work for?
She works for Forbes.
Forbes. What, is she an editor or something like that?
She does. She designs the magazines.
Oh wow! All right.
Isn't that near here?
What's that now?
Forbes?
Yeah, it's
Isn't
kitty
it-
corner.
It's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
They have the big collection of Fabergé.
Oh, the
bags.
Fabergé.
I have
Yeah.
never seen it.
And the
It's-
toys. You should go over there.
Yeah.
You go over there now. Come back.
Oh,
It's right. It's
Her
right.
knees
kitty
won't
corner.
hold us.
yeah, I'm afraid my knees are not going to approve of it.
What's that?
I'm afraid my leg is not going to
Not
approve
gonna-
of
not
it.
gonna work.
Well,
That's
we're like
good
bumps
to
on a log now.
Boy, lean against each other, Paul.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do for 20 years from now?
We
Have
better lose
little
some
cars
weight.
to
Is
ride
what
around
we
in?
better
Huh?
do. We better lose some more weight. Is what we better do. Because that's what's causing it. Causing a lot of it.
You're making coffee, right?
Oh shit! Yeah, I made that coffee. Yeah.
A little Irish whiskey, and I'll get.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna be all right. I'm very careful now.
Yeah.
That's a real problem.
What?
I'm sure Hunky had a. I mean, if you don't have something to cool you out a little bit,
Oh yeah.
you're going to suffer for that. And if you take too much of whatever you need to
Cool you out.
be halfway sane, then you have to be careful how you use it.
No.
Boy, I went to extremes with it. The worst was in California. Oh man, that was terrible.
Yeah, but that was just.
Huh?
That was alcohol though.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
He didn't use alcohol, did he?
Who?
Herbert.
Yes, he did.
He did?
What's that?
He drank a little bit?
Yeah.
Sure.
But not a lot.
He wasn't a big
Sometimes.
drinker, but
No.
sometimes he did
Sometimes
drink
he was.
considerably. I
Really?
mean, not. Him and I drank a lot together.
Uh-huh.
So
Oh.
I'm not sure if that was because.
He had a
Yeah.
very soothing. When he spoke, he was very soothing.
Yeah.
Didn't he have a soothing
Yes,
voice?
very much so. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Very soothing voice.
Yeah.
So I glued that on there.
Oh,
Let me see that.
you did that already.
Oh, that looks great.
Nice.
Man, it makes it much
Yeah,
better.
It sure does.
That's a great photograph.
Yeah.
It's all. Now see, Joe, if you want to be a professional ball player,
Yeah.
if you want 100%, you could do it.
Yeah.
But that's no life.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a great kid.
That's how they do it. That's how it's done. Throws real well. For
Yeah,
a
he
little kid.
does.
For a kid, he does, doesn't he?
Somebody
Ooh,
his
yeah,
age.
he's got a
really
good arm.
does. Yeah, sure does.
Very smart. Very hip.
He's a happy kid.
Yeah, isn't he?
When I talked to him in the car,
Yeah.
it was like the only difference between he and most people I know is he just hasn't been around that long.
Yeah. That's right.
Remember the Civil War? No, I mean the World War II. Korean War.
Yeah.
And he likes Viking fantasy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Which is what I like.
Yeah.
In fact, I liked it so much I read I read the Lord of the Rings long before it was popular.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
I was in the. How did I discover? I was in St. Luke's. Ellen and I went there. We were the first methadone patients there. They were experimenting. So we were there for something like 5 weeks. We had our own room, double beds, TV set, kitchen. They gave you menus in the kitchen. Sounds good, but it was terrible. It was
It's
awful.
terrible. Because you couldn't
And,
leave, right?
And they had the Lord of the Rings there, and I read the whole thing. It was something about methadone makes you nuts, and it made it worse. I got into it so much I didn't want to give up that world. I thought, gee, where's Frodo? Where's?
Yeah.
Where's the what?
I got so into it that I missed it when I stopped reading it. Oh my God, I have to come back to this world. Geez, I'd much rather fight the Dark Lord than.
What, did they have a library there or something
Yeah,
like that?
a little library, sure.
Yeah.
And I watched the Columbia riots from the window.
Oh,
Right across the street, they had all those crazies. And the whole place was full of teachers from Columbia.
Columbia, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the time
Russian.
they barricaded the...
Professor Russian was whacked,
Really?
completely whacked out. He was like
It disturbed him
trying
so
to be
much?
functional, and he had a routine where he emptied the ashtrays every day. Except his way of emptying an ashtray, he'd take the whole ashtray and throw it in the waste can. Not just the ashtray, he took the whole
The
ashtray.
whole ashtray would go.
I saw him do that. So he was suffering. That guy.
It's a strange period.
Where's my little sugary?
Oh, I have another one. I almost had some of these.
How cute this is, Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
That's a nice piece of paper.
I have another one. Yeah, there it is.
So, did Hunky ever talk about the Broadway Central?
Oh yeah.
Well, that was a great place, wasn't it?
Go in one.
That's a lot. Last time we were living in the same place.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember what year
Some
it was?
girl named somebody. A couple of he was a couple lived upstairs and they had a very good connection. But he was nuts. He was like he thought he was in the mafia or something. He carried a pistol. It was scary. It was scary. The girl was named. It's an old neighborhood girl from King Street that I'd seen around for years. And Hunky introduced me to them. And they were very good connections. And one day I went up there to get a bag, and guy, again, here it comes again. Whoa, on the floor. Yeah. They had these. We used a staircase then. We thought it was safer, and that's where I ran into the guy. And weird staircase that went up with the mirrors. Weird place. They had elevators. And that's where I met. Who did I meet there? Hunky and Earl were hanging out. Aaron. That was the time when Hunky was hanging out with Aaron, when he was living with Aaron. And then something happened, and he came to Broadway Central. And it was a avant-garde theater there. And they came in, they made this beautiful little theater, but they made a mistake of cutting out a beam. You know? That's when the building collapsed about a month later. The whole building came down like that. Nobody got killed. The three dogs that were there, they found them in the rubble.
Yeah.
And they weren't hurt. And Sonny St. Clair was living there. He was out that day.
He was out walking his dog.
I was out walking the dog. Came back and that was a beautiful building in trouble. It was all wood. It was an ancient hotel.
I heard it all the way over on, let's see, 8th and B.
It was even before the cast iron buildings. They came a little later. It must have been a Civil War period.
Probably right after.
Very fancy hotel.
I've heard great things about that hotel.
Yeah, it was a great place. It was great because there was no age then, and if you need a place to get off, you just went into the Broadway Central. Go into any bathroom and reach up and you'd find a set of works.
Really? Behind the toilet?
Yeah, behind the toilet or up on
Yeah.
the molding or something like that.
Yeah.
And nobody had AIDS then.
You knew since you walked into the room where they were.
No, I just looked for them. They'd be there.
Yeah.
But it'd be sort of a typical spot that
Oh yes.
you know you'd like.
I had one place where I used to keep my works. It was a loft on Broadway and Waverly Place, around the corner, or University Place. No, it was Waverly Place. And I kept them there for about a year. I was very meticulous, very compulsive about the order. It had to be spotless, perfect order.
Good. Have a sip. I never tasted
Huh?
that. Have a sip.
What do you want?
A sip of your
Cigarette?
No. I just want to
This?
see what it tastes like. I can take one.
You like it? What? That's not strong. Then there was the Earl Hotel. That was a good one.
Oh, the Earl, yeah.
I was there with
Washington
Mike,
Square.
Bob Kaufman, Coffee,
Yeah.
some Spanish guy, some other guy,
Yeah.
and Gayton. And and Joyce and Ole were all in a room. And Mike came in with the. He was selling needles, points. He had one of those aprons on that the newsmen carry with the change pockets, and they were all full of needles. So when they came in the room, they searched Mike, and one of them came with a needle sticking out of his
He
finger.
goes like this.
And they arrested everybody, but the only people who went to jail were Gayton, Bob Kaufman, and myself, and Coffee. And out of that bunch, who stayed? Me.
Yeah. Really?
Because I was the only one that had dope on. It was my luck. I was rescued, though. I kept telling myself I wasn't arrested, I was rescued. And what was the other? Oh, the Albert Hotel I was going to.
Which is the one that was on 8th Street?
8th Street?
Or
Oh, that was where
little place.
Shane O'Neill lived, and also Tommy's brother lived there.
That's
years.
yeah.
I guess it was a good place too.
The other one was on.
They were very considerate. He lived there for a long time, and they remodeled the place and revamped it,
Yeah.
and they didn't kick him out.
Yeah.
They had him move to another room while they remodeled his room. Very considerate. I think he's still there. Is he?
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know.
We might.
And then there was a terrible place that had a great big center courtyard. It was just like a prison. And you got a little stall about maybe 5 feet wide and about 8 feet long. And
I heard about that place.
the ceiling was chicken wire. It was just open
And it
chicken
had
wire.
some kind of grandiose name too.
Oh, I forget what it was.
Yeah.
And then there was the Village Hotel right on Bleecker Street. That was a weird place.
Which is the one that was on
Huh?
the park? Which one was on the park?
Oh, that was the Earl.
That was the Earl. Right.
It's a great place.
Yeah.
I think everybody stayed there at one time.
Yeah.
Hunky stayed there.
Yeah.
Carol, everybody stayed there at one point or another. Chelsea.